AllBrands back again. I'm so excited to see everybody for another live show. It's Thursday at 3:30 Central Time. I hope everybody is doing fantastic. We have an amazing woman coming on the show with us today. Her name is Sara, and she's from Brother, but she has a 6-needle machine. She has her own side hustle, and she's amazing. I know you're just going to love it. We also have a giveaway today. So to be eligible, just comment #AllBrands, and at the end of this live broadcast, you may just be a lucky winner of our giveaway. Comment #AllBrands. All right. And then one last announcement, because it's very time sensitive. If you maybe didn't get what you wanted for Mother's Day, or if you're interested in one of these amazing Brother machines that we're talking about on the show, Brother does have financing that ends on Monday, May 16th. So Monday, May 16th is the last day to take advantage of the Brother 0% APR for 60 months financing event. You can use that on the luminaire, the 10 needle, the 6 needle. There's just tons of options for you. Today, we're going to be talking about this multi-needle machine by Brother. It's the Brother PR680W. It's a tubular arm, 6-needle embroidery machine. It is just fantastic. So without further ado, I'll bring in our amazing guest, Sara.
Hello. Hi, Barbara.
So how are things?
Yeah, everything is great. I'm very excited to be here and show everyone the amazing PR680W.
Yes. And you're in New York.
Yeah.
Which I love New York. So fun. And so tell us a little bit about your background. You told me that you went to FIT?
Yes, I studied fashion design at FIT, got my bachelor's degree. I worked in the design industry for a few years, but then at the beginning of the pandemic, I came into this Brother job, which has been really amazing because I love embroidery and sewing, and I get to be creative so much with this job. And it also pairs really well with my small business. So I have the small business where I rework and upcycle secondhand apparel with my original embroidery designs using all of my Brother machines.
That is so cool. SEW cool. I love that you have a side hustle. That's just fantastic. Well, let's talk about this machine and all of the amazing capabilities it has. And what are we going to be stitching out today?
Yeah, so today I'm going to wake her up. I'm going to give you a little tour of the machine, give you some measurements, some stats, so we can really get to know it. And then I'm going to do a demo of a few like really great features, some of my favorite ones. And we're going to do a little project where we do an applique on a tote bag.
Oh, I love it. Wonderful. So if anybody watching live has questions or not watching live, go ahead and ask them, and I will try to answer them during the video. If not, ask and we'll answer it after the video. So, all right. Well, I'll let you take it away.
Absolutely. Okay, so the 6-needle free arm machine, the Entrepreneur W PR680W, that's the machine I have in front of me right now. And it's the upgrade from the PR670E. So this one was released about a year ago, I believe. So it's fairly new. It's very new to me. I've had it for about a month or two. And I can say, honestly, I use it pretty much every day because the amount of things that you can make on this machine, it'll blow you away. It's really exciting. So the big difference between this machine and your typical home embroidery machine is that normally you would have a flatbed setup where you need to lay all of your items flat to embroider them. But with the free arm machine, you have a tubular setup down here. And this allows you to hoop items that are not flat, like hats, pant legs, sleeves, baby onesies. So you can really go crazy with a free arm machine like this. Although it looks kind of, I don't know, maybe you're perceiving it as a really big machine. I feel like it's a kind of a big machine, but it actually only measures 23 inches long and 20 inches wide. So I'm in an apartment in a very small studio, and it fits in really nicely into my space. So although it's a powerful machine, it's kind of compact. So I love that about it. All right. So let me, or you know what, I'm going to talk about the frames that come with it first. So you get 4 frames with this machine. You get your 1.5 by 2 inch frame, good for small projects. You get your 4 by 4 frame, also great for a lot of uses. The 5 by 7, probably my most used frame size. And then you get the massive 8 by 12 hoop. So this is great for quilting, home deck, jacket backs, really, really big, beautiful embroidery in an 8 by 12 hoop. And this is the max embroidery size for this machine. Again, 8 inches by 12 inches. And then that's just to get you started, because there are tons of optional frames and accessories that you can purchase with this machine to do that many more projects. So some of my favorites would be the hat frame. And I have some hats here that I embroidered on the machine to show you. So we got Groovy, and these are all built-in designs on the machine. We have a little lucky cat. So this is a bucket hat, pretty soft. I think, you know, you could embroider this on a flatbed machine, kind of lay it flat, but getting it around the tubular arm like so makes it so much easier to embroider. And then
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're in, you have a side hustle, which means you are on the, you sell your home goods online.
Yeah.
So how often do you get requests for hats?
I don't actually think I've gotten a request for hats.
Okay. I know some of our customers that that tie into like the little leagues and the sports teams. That's when you get a lot of requests for hats.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, because I do everything with secondhand items, hats can be a little bit tricky to find secondhand ones that aren't like, you know, yucky.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, true. Okay.
Yeah. So here's a baseball hat, and I used the monogram alphabet on the machine to put my initials, and I added some floral embellishments. So if you've ever tried to embroider one of these on a flatbed machine, you know it's pretty difficult to get this part flat and flatten out the brim and yada yada. But hooping it with that hat frame on the machine like so, you don't have to squish it at all, because it's just the free arm goes in between, you know, inside the hat, and then you're able to just stitch on that top part there. Last but not least is the sandwich hat. I love this design that's built into the machine. Another really great frame is, pull it out here. This is the sleeve frame. So this is perfect for embroidering sleeves, pant legs, also those baby onesies fit perfectly right on this frame here. And I have a great sample to show that I used my sleeve frame to make. Ooh, it's a big one. But you see these stars that are on the sleeve here.
Oh my goodness. Everyone is saying cute. That is so cute. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love this. So I actually did both sleeves. Oh, Yeah, there they are. They were hidden. It's an extra large sweatshirt, so things get hidden. But yeah, I was able to do both sleeves with stars all the way down. And I'm really happy with how this is a collaboration I did with an artist friend. So this is his artwork and his design, and I was able to make it come to life with the sleeve frame, really.
We have a question from Annette. She says, do those, she asked about the flash frames. We did get a question about magnetic frames earlier, and don't worry, we will get to those. And yes, the flash frames that we'll talk about are available for the 6 and 10 needle Brother machines, but the sleeve hoop that she was just showing is also available for both as well.
Definitely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so flash frames were actually next on my list. So there are 2 available at the moment. This is the 5x7 frame. I use this pretty much every day. I love magnetic frames. You don't get hoop burn when you hoop stuff. And it just makes it really easy to hoop tubular items. And this one just kind of slides right onto the machine. I can switch my camera up real quick. Show you guys. So you line it up and it clicks right in. Just like that.
Like in a flash.
In a flash, exactly. And then you have 4 magnets, and they lift up just by squeezing this little lever here. They lift right off.
So Sarah, is there like a thickness level that this hoop, the flash frame, like
Yeah, it's 2 millimeters of thickness. Yeah. But the great thing about this frame is you can see that this part lifts up and then you hoop right underneath. And there's actually a lot of room right here to kind of shove the extra thickness of any project in. And I'll show you guys all that a little bit later when we take a look at that tote bag project. It really gives you the ability to embroider all the way at the bottom of something if you'd like to. And then you could have the entire top of your project just kind of sitting back here while you do that.
Yeah, Sarah, I actually saw this demonstrated with a quilt hoop. Mm-hmm. And there's space behind it for the quilt hoop to sit in that area, like the excess material.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It's easy to keep everything out of the way of the needles and organized, and it's the best. The last accessory, or actually there's 2 more. So one other would be the magnetic sash frame, which is perfect for quilting. It's 8x12, so it's a really large size. And the magnets are designed in a way that you can remove only 2 of them and you can slide your project straight along without having to rehoop. So you're able, if you're doing quilting on the top of a quilt, you're able to just keep that straight as you continue to line up more segments and stitch out the entire quilt. And then the last but not least accessory that I'll talk about are the shoe clamps. And those are really cool because you can embroider on the side of the sneaker or the side of your shoe, the tongue of a shoe. There's all different clamps for like the left side, the right side, the tongue. So tons and tons of accessories to play with there.
That is amazing, Sarah. Let's see if we have any questions. Here's one from, Kelly. We get this question a lot on our live videos. So how much does this cost? So we're talking about the Brother dealer machine. So to get a price, you would need to contact your local Brother dealer by going to the Brother website and typing in your zip code, and then they'll give you the phone number to contact for any pricing that they may have there. They have an amazing dealer network with an amazing warranty on their machines too. So here's another question from Maureen. She says, would you use the sleeve frame on pants as well?
Yes, you would. That's exactly right. So pant legs are basically the same as sleeves when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that sleeve frame will work just as well on both. I've even seen a fellow educator use it on a pair of knee-high boots. So that was a really fun way, yeah, of using that frame.
Yes. I've seen there's a certain type of boot. It's like a rain boot, but it's like a particular kind. And
Yeah.
I've seen it on that too. And they're so cute with the monogram on the
Yeah,
top. Ah, super, super cute. Okay.
totally. All right, we're gonna get up close and personal with our screen here. So this is our home screen when you turn the machine on. And these are all of your embroidery categories here. So the machine comes loaded with 100 embroidery designs. So just out of the box, you have 100 designs to play with. And you can find all of those right in here. So these are all subcategories. You can touch each of those and scroll through. This screen is a 10-inch color LCD touchscreen, and it was designed to work in the same way as your phone or your tablet. So you can scroll, you can pinch to zoom, all those things that you're used to doing on your devices, you can do right on this screen. So it's very intuitive. So lots of designs. Here's my sandwich. So you can touch any design at any time. You could also make the icons larger. You can make them really large. Very customizable. And then once you have it on your screen, so right now the machine knows that I have my flash frame driver on there. So at the top here, it's previewing or actually that might be cut off a little bit, but let me scooch out. Yeah, right here. It's previewing the 5x7 magnetic and the 4x4 frame. And so in my embroidery area, it's showing me how much space that design is going to take up in my 5x7 frame. And if I want to preview it up closer, I can press the preview button at any time. And now it's showing me my sandwich in a little rendering of the 5x7 frame. And we can zoom in and we get a really close-up view of what that stitch out is going to look like. I love this because I love having the best ideas I can of what the design is actually going to look like before I stitch it out. All right, so those are our embroidery designs. Again, there's more in here. There's my cat, lots of fun stuff to play with. Then in here on back of the home screen, we have our frame patterns, and there's 140 of those to choose from. So each of these tabs is a different shape, and each shape has 14 different frame combinations. We also have buttonholes, 10 different kinds, and buttonhole embellishments. We have our monogram, which I showed you guys on that hat sample. So you can go ahead and select if you want to do the 3-letter monogram, and then it splits the alphabet for you into the left letter, the center letter, and the right letter, so you can make monogram designs in a pinch. And there are also special monogram frames to play with, which is really cool. And then we get to our font category. This machine has 40 different fonts. So there are a ton to play with, and pretty much anything you could need is already on here, ready to go. Yeah, I love playing with all of these different fonts. So that's 13 new fonts from the previous model.
You can never have too many fonts in the machine, right?
You really can't, no.
That's one of the main things. And I usually just go to the machine if I need to do something quick for either a customer or for, you know, myself. And it's just really great to have so many options to choose from and different sizes of each option to choose from.
Yeah, absolutely. I always mock up different designs for customers using the fonts on my machine, and I have yet to have a customer who needed other options. Pretty much whatever they need is going to be on here. So I love that. And then in here we have our decorative alphabets. So there's a lot of those to play with as well. This one
I see some money makers in there, Sarah, with the Greek letters.
Yes.
You get the sorority, you can do all of their Greek letters, and that is a great side hustle.
Absolutely. I love these as well, which is the first initial, and then there's a split. So you could go back in and add the full name right in the middle of that letter. So that's a really nice one. All right, and then back at our home screen again, I just wanted to point out that we have different memory pockets down here. So this is our machine's memory where you can save any designs that you might create using all these different categories. You can also use a USB. There are 2 USB ports to import embroidery data on. You can connect it to your computer, and you can also now transfer them wirelessly. So this is a new, really exciting feature on this machine, is the wireless connectivity. So when you connect your machine to your wireless network at home, and you're going to want to connect it to the same one that your laptop or your computer is connected to, you'll then be able to transfer embroidery designs directly from your computer to your machine with the click of a button. So no need for the USB hassle trying to drag it into the right folder and eject properly and all that stuff. You don't have to do any of that anymore with this wireless capability.
Wow. Is that called My Connection?
Yes.
And that's exclusive to Brother embroidery machines, correct?
Yeah. So yeah, it's just generally called like the WLAN feature because you can do a bunch of different things with it. So you can transfer wirelessly using Design Database Transfer, which is their free PC app. So again, it's free. You can download that. What is the word? That program. That's the word that I was looking for. You can download that program and start transferring all the designs on your computer wirelessly to the machine. You can also transfer using PE Design 11. So anything that you design on there, you can connect your machine to PE Design 11 and transfer wirelessly that way. And the other great thing is that when you're connected to the wireless network, you will get notifications for software updates. And that's really important because I know I always forget to go online and check for software updates, but now if you're connected to the internet or to a wireless network, it will notify you when one is available, and then you could go online and download it. So really versatile thing you have there.
Very easy. Hey, we have a question from Ann Philbeck about the monogram fonts. She's asking, do they have an array button?
The monogram does, let's see. Yeah, it does have an array button. So let's just play with that. We can go to array and we could kind of curve it. It gets a little bit funky because your letters are designed specifically to kind of be straight together.
I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, you can curve, you can go on a diagonal. That looks pretty nice too.
Wow. And it looks like you can even change the angle as well.
Yes. You can lower the angle, and same with the curves. You can kind of make it a wider curve or a tighter curve.
So the machine actually does a lot without the use of software, just on the screen.
Exactly, yeah.
Perfect.
You don't need any software and computer really. You could do so much with everything that comes on here and all of the editing functions. And we're going to look at a lot more editing functions later on. Yeah.
One more question from Glenda. She's asking, is this the latest 6-needle machine? Yes.
It is.
This is the Brother PR680W machine.
Yes, the latest and greatest.
Today's date is May 12th, 2022, in case you're watching this in the future.
Perfect. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show is the crosshair laser positioning. That is another new feature on the 680W. So I'm going to go ahead and pick, let's see, I'm going to pick this lovely elephant design here. I'm going to set it, and now we are at our editing page. So this is where you can edit your embroidery designs that you create or for designs that are already in the machine. So I'm going to rotate this by 90 degrees, and then I'm going to size it down. And I'm going a little bit fast, so let me go back. Rotate, you have the option of rotating by 90 degrees, 10 degrees, 1 degree, or as little as 0.1 degree. So you're really able to get very precise placement with anything that you're positioning. And then I'm going to go ahead and size it. And so here you have the option of sizing proportionally, or you can size and change the stitch density, which allows you to get it pretty small. When you're sizing proportionally, you can only size up or down about 20%. But with this stitch density feature, it actually changes the stitches in the design and allows you to size it up and down a lot more drastically. So I like that feature a lot too. All right, I'm going to rotate it again. Okay, so we're going to get to more of these editing functions when we do our tote bag. For now, I'm going to press End Edit, and this is going to bring us to another editing screen where we're going to be able to use the crosshair laser. So I'm just going to switch my camera again. I am going to hoop up this little scrap of a shirt pocket here. So you can see as I'm putting this fabric in, you guys see that red crosshair laser that's coming up there. That is the laser positioning marker that I'm talking about and that we are going to get to know.
Yeah, so for existing 6-needle owners that aren't the 680W, which is the latest model, this is a big upgrade from the previous models. It had a laser point, but it didn't have nearly the functionality. And with these, it's a very wide crosshair, which gives you greater visibility, and it also allows you, it's kind of like you can rotate like what the snowman offers in the 10-needle machine and the Luminaire through the crosshair, which is phenomenal.
Exactly. So back on my screen, I'm going to go ahead and press the positioning button. And what comes up here is our alignment page. And we're able to, using this blue dot and these buttons, tell the machine where we want the design to be positioned from. So because my pocket is upside down, hooped on my flash frame, and my design is upside down, I know that I want this bottom part of the elephant to be lined up perfectly with the top of my pocket. So I'm going to start the alignment in the bottom corner here. Then I'm going to press next, and it's going to ask me which direction do I want to align it in. So again, I want to align it in this direction because this will be the top of my pocket. And now we have our little arrows, which allow us to move that crosshair around. So bringing you back down to my hoop, I'm going to go ahead and move that crosshair. So just using these arrows, I'm moving it so that it's positioned right at the top of my pocket there. Then when I press next, the machine is going to go ahead and move that crosshair to show me where the second position of the embroidery design is going to be. And you can see it's way up here, but we want it to be all the way down there. So again, I'm going to move it down. Okay. And then once I press set, you're going to see that it is automatically going to position and rotate the elephant for me. I'll get up close so you guys can see. See how he's on the tilt now? So we know using that crosshair that he is going to be positioned perfectly on top of that crooked pocket in my hoop.
That is so amazing. I love it. We have a question from Deborah Lindell about the crosshair. So she has the PR10 needle machine, which has a camera on it and a snowman. She's asking if, does hers have the large crosshair on it? And the answer is no, because you would use the camera and the snowman, since that machine has the camera on it to do this function. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's the crosshair function in a nutshell. It makes positioning really easy. And also you don't have to worry about, I mean, you see how I hooped my pocket. It is crazy crooked. You never have to worry about hooping things straight because you know that you could always get your design positioned exactly how you need it. So
yes. Imagine too a name. Think of if you have like a striped shirt and you want to put a name on the bottom of the stripe. That it comes in very handy.
Yes.
For that.
Exactly. Okay. So let's get started on our tote bag. So I'm going to go back to the home screen. And basically what we're going to do today is create our own applique with our frame shapes. And then we're going to add some text in the center and we're going to embroider it all onto a blank tote bag. So I'm going to go into my frame shapes. I'm going to use a circle and I'm going to start with number 10 because that is just a basic running stitch. So this is going to be our placement stitch. So I'm going to set that. And now we're back at our editing page. So I'm going to size this up. I want it to be about 3 3¾ inch. 3.75, there we go. And now that's going to be our placement, but we need a tack down stitch. So I'm gonna duplicate it. And that's just the press of a button with the duplicate button right there. And it made me a second circle, but it positioned it off center. So using my keypad over here with the arrows, I'm gonna just press that dot and that centers it in our embroidery area. So now there are 2 circles there right on top of each other. Now I'm going to press add and I'm going to go back to my frames. And this time we're going to add more of a decorative satin stitch frame to kind of cover the outside of our applique. So I'm going to use number 11. And again, you can use that preview button at any time to get a closer look at that design. So you can see it's kind of like a braided effect. I like this one because it's simple but has a little texture to it. So I'm going to set that, and then I'm going to size it a bit larger than our first circles. I'm going to make it 3.9. That way I know that it's going to cover up my my trimmed applique fabric edge there. All right. So now I'm going to add some text. I'm going to go ahead and add, go to my font category, and I'm going to use font 22. So once you choose a font, as you saw before when we were playing around with the monogram fonts, your keyboard comes up and you have different tabs here. So you have your uppercase letters, your lowercase, then you have numbers, symbols, and special characters. So I'm going to write out "Be kind," I'm going to use my V. And then once you start typing, all of these editing features on the bottom open up. So you can toggle between large, medium, and small for your font. I'm going to keep it at large. You can use that array function again to curve it or put it on a diagonal. And you can go ahead and jump around between fonts as much as you want. So I can go into here at any time and I could preview another font, see how it looks, see if I like it, and just go back to 22 if I'd like. So I feel like before you would have to type it out, stick to one font, and then if you wanted to try another one, you would have to delete and start over. So I love that function as well, that you could really play around with all the different options that you have. And then if I want to do a second line of text, I have an enter button here. And now I'm on my second line. So I'm going to write kind. And we're good to go. So I'm going to set that. Now, because I have two different lines of text, it automatically groups them together for me. So I can just press the ungroup button here. And I can select a single line of text just by tapping on the screen. And now all of my editing functions become available again. So in here, you have some alignment tools, which are grayed out because I need to go and select multiple items. So let me do that with the select tools. So here I can use my arrows. Right now there's a faint red box around kind, which I know is the part of the design that I'm editing currently. So I'm going to set that, and it turns fully red, which means it has it as part of the selection. I'm going to use my arrows to get a box around B, and I'm going to set that as well. And now I have both of those selected at the same time.
We have a question from Erin Potts.
Mm-hmm.
She says, does the density change when resizing decorative frames?
So you could either size without changing the density, or you could size by changing the density. So there's two options. I sized without changing, I believe. Yeah, let's.
Thank you.
Let me see if I could answer that more clearly.
We're trying to stump the teacher today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. So I think in this case, yes, it would resize the density because we are changing it quite a lot. See, you could go really, really big with that. So it's definitely changing the density because it wouldn't work either otherwise.
Oh, that would be cute, a double applique.
Yeah.
My wheels are turning.
Accidental, great idea. Okay, so I'm going to go back and select the B kind again because I just wanted to show these alignment tools, which I absolutely love. So you can, with multiple parts of your design selected, you can align both of them to the left. You can align them both in the center, which makes no sense because they'd be overlapping. Or you could align them both. That was the horizontal center. You can align them at the vertical center as well. And then I could just press reset to undo all of that. Okay, and then with one line of text selected, you have a lot more font editing options. So I could go back into this font editing tool, and it basically brings you right back into the keyboard where we were before. And again, you have all of those options to array or edit the spacing or change the font. I'm actually going to use the spacing tool, and I'm going to squeeze these letters together a little bit more. You go back to set, and you're back at your editing page. You also have the option to activate multicolor, which now means that when I go into my thread color palette, each letter is a separate embroidery piece or piece of the embroidery. So you can independently change all those colors, all those letters to be different colors. So that's a really cool feature. If I take it off, it'll snap it back into be one line and one color for the whole line. Here you can split using a knife. So you can split apart different characters if you'd like. So those are just some of the editing tools. There's even more to get into, but for now, I'm going to recolor everything in my design. I want it all to be navy because we are working with, I'll show you guys the tote bag. Jump back out here. This is our tote bag that we're working with. So I'm going to do my applique right in the center here. So I'm going to choose a navy color for my design to match this bottom stripe here.
Are you noticing that navy is really hot right now? It's a very popular color.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great color. It'll never go out of style, right?
Mm-hmm. Venice says, I need this in my life. Very cool.
It really is cool. So right now I'm in my color palette, my thread color palette. And on the left here, you have all of the different parts of your design. So it has our placement stitch, and you could see what's selected in the preview box here. So it has our placement circle, our tack down circle, and then our satin stitch. And then it has the 2 lines of text. So I could click each of those and then select any color on this palette here. I can also scroll down. You can filter through different sets of threads. So they have like Madeira poly, all different kind of stuff in here for you to use. Right now I'm sticking to the Brother embroidery colors. All right, so I changed those all to be navy. And now we're going to move on. We're going to press end edit, and we're back at our positioning page, our second editing screen here. So I'm going to hoop up my tote bag. Sorry for getting in the camera like this. All right. Popping out my pocket.
So nice that you don't have to remove the frame from the machine to hoop.
Oh,
saves so much time.
Yes, totally.
Also, a lot of customers, especially ones who are doing side hustles, they'll get multiples so that they can hoop one project while one's stitching out, and then you can just switch it out through the clamping system on the flash frame.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so I have my stabilizer down, and what I like to do, again, because I don't have to remove this frame, I've actually gotten into the habit of just clipping my stabilizer down to the frame, like right on the edge. That way I don't have to worry about it as I'm hooping. Okay. So now you guys will get to see, as I hoop this, how I can just slide the extra bit of tote bag back here in the frame. And I could just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And you can see this is the very bottom of my bag. And I could reach all the way down there to embroider. So yes, it does make it very easy to hoop. And again, because it's tubular, there's no flattening needed. You just slide it on so that the top is hooped and the bottom just hangs down under that free arm.
I can't tell you how many times on a flatbed embroidery machine I've accidentally embroidered through a layer that wasn't supposed to be embroidered through because it slipped itself underneath the hoop. So tubular embroidery is where it's at.
Yes, I think we've all done that. It's a super sad moment when you realize. Okay, so you saw how easy that was. I'm just popping the magnets on, and you can see they hold really firm. My project is not wiggling at all. And I pre-marked my center here with a water-soluble marker. I think you could see that a little bit on camera. So I'm going to go back into that crosshair positioning. And I'm going to align from the top of my design going down so that we could align it perfectly center on my tote bag. Okay, so the crosshair just moved to the top position of my design. And so I'm going to line it right up with my markings. So this crosshair I put in to tell myself that this is where the top of the design should be. So there you go. My laser is perfectly aligned on top of that crosshair that I put in. And I'm going to hit next, and it's going to slide right down. And I could see just from how it moved that it went in a straight line down the tote bag. So I know that it's going to be straight, and it's going to start where I want it to. And I'm ready to go. Oh, it extends out of the frame. Okay. Just gotta wiggle it.
So there's actually 2 different sizes of flash frames available for the 6 and 10 needle machines.
Yes.
I know there's a 5x7. Is the other one a 4x4?
Correct. Yes. This is the 5x7 that I'm using. And then there is a 4x4 frame.
Very nice.
Yeah, 2 very versatile sizes.
Here's a question from Marty. She has the PRS100. Do you know if they have a flash frame for the PRS100?
I don't believe that they have one for the single needle yet.
Okay.
All right, so I rehooped because the way that I positioned the design was extending outside of my frame. So I rehooped, and I'm just using those crosshairs to guide my laser positioning marker again. Perfect. We're gonna set it. Okay. So back to my screen. I'm gonna press Embroidery, and we are gonna move to the embroidery page. Now, right away, my machine, so the machine remembers what your last thread colors were for the last thing that you stitched out. So you can see right up top here, in position 1, I have a lime green thread color. And so it's telling me you need to switch that out for the ultramarine thread. So I can go ahead and do that. And I'm going to show you guys the automatic threading system. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to thread up top.
So what I like to do, since we can't see that part of it, we can see the hoop right now. I actually do the tie off and pull through method through right before I get to the needle, and then I use the automatic needle threader to thread the needle, and that's pretty quick. But you can also, if you have blue but it's on a different needle, you can change out to stitch that one, correct, if it's already on the machine?
Exactly, yeah. There's a tool called the Magic Wand, where you can basically tell it if it assigns needle 1, but you have blue on needle 6, you can tell it to use needle 6 instead.
That's very convenient. So if you have multiple colors, you can tell the machine to set it up so that it shows up to 6 colors in sequence without stopping, which is great for saving time when doing a multicolored design.
Yes. So the sweatshirt that I showed with the stars on the sleeve, again, that's a collaboration I'm doing with another artist, and he sold those to his collectors. So we made 10 of those, and we also made 10 t-shirts. So I I think would have gone crazy making that many items without my 6 needle, because with the 6 needle, I was able to load in the colors for that design, and I could just stitch those designs over and over and over again with those same colors loaded in, because the machine filters through all of those colors for me. So I set it and just let it do its thing. And that has allowed me to stay sane, I think.
Sanity is a very good thing.
Yeah.
That's what my sewing machine and embroidery machine does for me. It's my sanity.
Exactly. Okay, so I have threaded all the way down to the needle, and now there is a needle threading button on the face of the touch screen. So I press that. Oh, and I'm on the wrong needle. You can see it came down on needle 3. So I'm going to switch on my screen to needle 1, and it just scooched over for me. Press the needle threading button, and that comes down. And then you have a little tool here that you can use to hook your thread back here. I know it's probably impossible to see on camera. And then you hook it up and around, and you trim it at the top. You press the needle thread button again, and you're threaded, just like that.
And it makes the tail the perfect length so that it gets buried on the first stitch, so you don't have a tail sticking out.
Yes. All right, so I'm going to get it going. I apologize if it gets crazy loud, but so the machine can stitch at 1,000 stitches per minute, and it can actually accelerate up to 1,000 stitches per minute in 7 seconds. So it is a beast, but I am going to keep it down to 700 stitches per minute, so it doesn't get too loud in here. And before I continue, I'm going to bring you guys back to the screen here. So because we are stitching down our placement for the applique, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the stitch, and then I'm going to add a reserve stop, which is this little hand icon here. And that's just going to let the machine know to stop before continuing on to the next portion of the embroidery design. That way we can lay down our applique fabric and continue stitching. So I just press reserve stop, and it adds that little hand right there. All right, so you can see it stopped for me, and it automatically trimmed my thread. Now I'm going to put my applique fabric down. I'm going to lock, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch out my tack down stitch. When I press start, I'm again going to add another reserve stop so that the machine will stop after the tack down stitch, and I can pull the frame off and trim the excess fabric for around my applique. Okay, so it stopped for me. Now I'm just going to pull it off the side for a second and trim this. So this frame pops off really easy. I'm just going to gently slide it out, and I'm going to take it off camera for a minute while I trim. Do we have any other questions that I can answer while I do this?
Yeah, so let me come in and we can get some questions answered. And I started a few comments as well. Here's one from Annette. Let's see. She says, can you receive cut files from the Scan and Cut? I think with software on this machine, is that accurate, Sarah? For the 6 needle, you would need the software.
Yeah, you would need to connect the two of them, but I do believe that you can receive the cut files from your scan and cut on this machine.
Okay. Or send to the scan and cut. So there's something like there's the Luminaire that talks back and forth with the new scan and cut where you can digitally transfer. And that's for that one model with the brand new scan and cuts. But for this one, you'll have to like bring it into, if it's not already included in the design, which most of the time the cut files are. Here's a comment from Erin. She says, that's a lot of frames.
Just before you go on, that is the My Connection thing that you had mentioned. The My Connection is what you use with the Luminaire to transfer back and forth to the scan and cut, the cut files.
Yes.
Yes.
So the machine comes with 4 frames. There's an optional cap frame, an optional flash frame, and shoe clamp frame, which Glenda says if we have time, she would love to see the shoe clamp. Do you have one there?
Unfortunately, I don't have a shoe clamp. I'm sorry to say.
Oh, while you're putting that on, guys, this is the little area in the back that holds the excess material. You see where it's behind, and that's such a great innovation by Brother that it allows that excess material
to have all the space here.
Go back there. Yeah. Oh, that turned out very cute.
It's coming along. Click it back into place. So I'm just going to continue the stitch out, but I'm happy to keep answering questions.
Okay. So here's another one from Joe. What's the biggest hoop size on the 6 needle machine?
That would be the 8x12.
Here's just a comment from L Faber. Thanks for watching. He says, Brother makes it very easy to learn. Yes, I agree.
It does, yeah. Super intuitive products.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's a comment from Shirley earlier. She says, I didn't realize you could put so much fabric in the back of this frame. Very nice.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I've seen other educators do really large like laundry bags, and they just bunch the whole thing up in the back and they embroider at the bottom of the laundry bag. It's really a unique feature that you could do that.
Mm-hmm. Here's a comment from Nilda. She says, I'm quilting 12 embroidery blocks on my sewing machine. I'm binding now. This machine would be awesome for me. Yes, it can be embroidering while you're sewing on your sewing machine.
Totally.
Oh, okay. Everybody raise your hand if you do this. Joe says, I love to watch my embroidery machine create a design. Are you guilty of that?
My hands up.
I sit there and I stare at it going the whole time, and I'm just not really doing anything except for just mesmerized at the embroidery.
Yeah, so, that's why I have the camera on the machine and not me right now.
We're totally with you there, Joe. Nilda commented earlier, she said it's very fast. So this one's actually slowed down. It's only doing 700 stitches per minute.
Right.
But
but you could go up to 1,000.
Oh, here's a comment from Barbara Jones. She says that she loves how the Brother engineers listen to us.
Yes. Absolutely.
So Barbara joins us each year. She lives in Houston, where Houston Store is located. And the engineers are usually at Houston Quilt Festival. And if you have any ideas, you can put it in their ear, and they do make it happen. They listen to their customers. Here's a comment from Shirley, I love to watch my machine sew. It always amazes me. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like everybody's chiming in. Yes, me too.
I love when we have these at shows and we make them go even slower. Like we put them all the way down to 300 stitches per minute, but people are still so amazed. And then once they walk over, I make it go fast, and then they're really amazed.
It's hypnotizing. We have a really great special going on this machine. There's actually 3 PR specials right now with AllBrands and Brother. They're called Side Hustle Bundles. So not only do you get the 60 months financing on those, you can also get tons of extras. So on the PR6 needle, you can get the stand, the cap frame, and the Durkee 7-in-1 frames with that for a limited time. So that's the Brother PR680W 6 needle machine.
Yes, and I'm using that stand right now. I feel like it's a very it's a very necessary accessory to have because the machine locks into that table. So when it's going really fast like this, the machine starts to move, and if you have it on any regular old table, I feel like it would just move right off the table. So it's really great to have that stand that it fits into perfectly and locks down.
Yeah, it locks down the machine. It also is on rollers, so you can move it out of the way if you need to. It also has like storage in the stand. I'll bring up the slide again, where you can store your hoops and all your accessories underneath. And there's a pegboards on each side that will store the different accessories you have for the machine. So that's called the Brother Side Hustle Bundle. And if you're interested in that from allbrands.com, here is our locations in Louisiana and Texas. So please come visit our store. We'd love to
We're doing the lettering now.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your side hustle. How long have you been doing that, Sarah?
It's really been like 2 years that I've been doing it seriously. And it's definitely taking off more now than it has in the past. I go to a lot of markets around the city in person, and I'm able to sell to people face to face, which is very nice. So I buy clothing and accessories secondhand, and I embroider on them as a way of kind of making them into a special piece again. And hopefully customers come and they really connect with the embroidery. I do some pretty silly stuff. I have one embroidery design of a pigeon driving a taxi cab that everyone really likes. I can pull one of those out to show at the end here. And
that would be great.
Yeah, so I have a lot of fun with it, and I think people really appreciate it, and I love, that people are open to buying secondhand and continuing the life cycle of that garment instead of it just going into the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Denise. Will this be good for beginners? She just purchased the SE1900 and she's never embroidered before.
Wow. I think the 1900 is a really good place to start. And I think once you get really comfortable with that, you'll be able to quickly move up the line and get into some more complicated machines like this one. Yeah.
A lot of times, I think that's a 5x7 embroidery machine, the SE1900, combination sewing and embroidery. A lot of times, like they'll get into that, they'll get started, and then they'll realize that they want to sew or embroider something that they need to put around the tube of the machine. So they'll upgrade from the entry level machine to either the 6 needle by Brother or the 10 needle by Brother. And that jump is made more often than not.
Yeah. That's a big jump, but it doesn't surprise me because how could you not want to embroider on shoes and hats and tote bags and pants and sleeves? It's like, gosh, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, if you're going to use it, I mean, you might as well just get the one that's going to serve you long term.
Right.
Here's a question from Nilda. She asked, do you have thread breaking on this machine?
No, I haven't encountered much thread breaking. Yeah, if anything, the machine will stop when my bobbin runs out. But normally the top threads, yeah, I haven't had much breakage here.
Yeah.
As long as you have it threaded properly.
Yeah, threaded properly and good quality thread. So I would definitely suggest purchasing the Brother embroidery thread. Is a very good quality embroidery thread, and the bobbin thread as well. If you use like an expired thread or something like that, you could experience the breakage. But if it does break, the machine has sensors in it to let it know that there's a thread break, and it automatically stops embroidering. And then you can reverse in stitches so that you're not having a gap in your design when you restart.
Yeah, I love that feature where you could just go back 10 stitches where the break happened and pick up kind of where you left off. That's very helpful for sure. All right, so our design finished stitching out. So I just pulled the frame off to remove those clips that I had on with holding my stabilizer. But once I take the magnets off, I could just slide that right out. And let me switch back. Ta-da!
Oh my goodness, that turned out so cute.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. What do you guys think?
I need to make this tote bag ASAP. And it was so easy.
It was, and you guys saw we did everything on screen, no digitizing software. So we use the frame shapes, we use lettering, and we use that reserve stop, which is that little hand, so that the machine would stop in between stitching out our placement and our tack down stitches.
Oh my goodness. Very cool. Hey, can you tell us a little bit about in your side hustle that you do? Do you get requests for designs that aren't already in the machine? And what programs do you use to navigate those hurdles where customers say, I want you to make a design for me?
Yeah, I make a lot of custom designs, and PE Design 11 is definitely the go-to for digitizing. And then, like I was saying earlier, you can connect it to your embroidery machine. So once I'm done with a design, I can send it off wirelessly to my embroidery machine and get stitching right away.
Oh, very cool. All right, so we're going to go through our last round of questions. Then I'm going to do a giveaway at the very end. So if you guys haven't done it yet, please comment #AllBrands to be eligible for that. And we'll do a lightning round of questions that we have. So if you have any last minute questions, put them in now and we will get to them. Let's see.
I can also pull out samples.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Here's the questions from Nilda. Again, she says, how many stitches on a design? 20,000 stitches? How long will it take? Good question.
That is a good question. Let's see if it tells us on here. Yeah, okay, so the design that I just stitched out was almost 5,000 stitches.
Very cool. And I love how it tells you on the machine how long it's going to take to stitch out, and then how long you've gone, and then how much longer you have left. Great feature. Here's a comment from Barbara Jones. She says, I never met an unnecessary accessory. Yes, it's always good to have good tools.
Yeah.
Here's a good one from Shirley. She says, not sure if I missed this, but does it have auto tension?
definitely does, right? I should know. I've never adjusted the tension. It's always been perfect.
Yeah, just use a 7511 needle, and if you need to adjust it for like something crazy, you can. But I've embroidered on some crazy stuff. We did wood a few weeks ago, and
Wow.
yeah, you don't have to adjust the tension. Maybe the speed is more important than the tension on the machine.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here's a comment from Diane. I admire your creativity.
Thanks, Diane.
Here's one from Pat. What thread size and needle size to do initials on a man's shirt pocket flap? Mine are always bunched up and can't read. So for that, I would say that that's more of a stabilizing thing than a needle thing. So just make sure that you have enough stabilizer on the design. If you purchase a design, maybe from, some download from a company that's not, a digitizing company, sometimes you can download a design that's not digitized correctly and it will stitch out and not as well. So what you can do is select a font in the machine that has the satin stitch and stitch that out. And it should have 1/3 on the back showing of bobbin thread. And that means that like your machine's stitching out fine. And yeah.
That the tensions are all good, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. A good question, Pat. Here's a good question from L. Faber. How do you know how much to charge for your items?
Oh, for my small business? I've actually started using a formula to figure that out because I'm not good at knowing. I always charge too little, basically. So I started using a formula where I see how many hours I spend on a piece. I multiply that by $15 an hour, which is just paying myself minimum wage. And then I add a markup on top of that. And that's how I figure out my final price. And I also work in like how much the secondhand garment costs to purchase and any additional supply costs.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can share. Everybody, I pulled up Sarah's page that she has for her company. If you guys are interested in checking her out, this is her. Can you see that? Is it on the screen yet? No, because I have to add it. Here it is. SAV NYC on Etsy.
Yes.
Yay.
That's me. I do a ton of patches. They're all stitched out on scrap fabric and they're all iron-on. And then you have the apparel there. And here's actually one of those shirts that's up there. This is a really great pocket example. I have a little city skyline stitched right above the pocket. And of course, I used my crosshair positioning to get that straight across.
Oh, so cool. Oh my gosh, you're so amazing. Patches are big. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I love patches. Yes. And then I'm going to pull one of those pigeon taxis to show you guys because that one.
Oh, we have to see that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. So guys, don't forget, comment hashtag AllBrands, and I'll be doing a drawing very soon for that.
All right, so here's the pigeon taxi.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
He's a cutie.
Let me make you full screen so we can see that. Cute. How fun. Having fun and making money at the same time. Win-win.
Yeah, totally.
Very cool. All right, so let's do our giveaway. I'm going to bring that up on the screen now. And drum roll, please. And our winner is Glenda Haynes, congratulations, Glenda. Oh my gosh, you are a lucky, lucky lady today. Please email me at events@allbrands.com to claim your prize, and I will email you the code to use on our website, www.allbrands.com, since 1976, family owned and operated. I'm part of the family that owns and operates allbrands.com. So we're really happy to serve you. Happy that you guys are on our shows every Thursday at 3:30. If you haven't done so, and if these videos are helpful for you, please click the bell if you're on YouTube to subscribe, or head on over to Facebook and follow our page. We also have a forum called Sew Forum on Facebook. It's a group. Please join that for more education and fun with sewing and embroidery. And then if you haven't, also follow Brother on Facebook and YouTube, Brother Sews. And the Crafting Corner blog is really cool as well. They have a stitching social. And where can folks follow you, Sarah?
Mainly Instagram is where I live, and it's SAV_NYC.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for letting us come into your sewing studio today.
Yes.
It was wonderful. Aw. Here's a sweet thing from Kelly. Walk into any AllBrands store and you're treated more than just a customer. You're treated like family. Thank you.
That's
really
great.
Appreciate that. All right. Well, we're done for today, but please join us next week on Thursday. We'll be showing more fun Brother products. And yeah, that'll be Thursday at 3:30. And thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.